I wish you guys the best with your Yum Yum podcast.
Yum, yum.
Hello, Rachel.
Hi, Ryan.
How are you doing?
I could be better.
You could be better?
I could be better.
How could we make you better?
It's not about making me better. It's about making me feel better.
Making you feel so you're 100% good, but you need to feel better. I know how we can make you feel better. I know the cure to your weak heart.
Mm.
Yeah, that's right. It's yum yum. Injected right into the veins, right in there. Because
how do you extract yum yum?
How do I extract it? It's in all of us. It binds us all, and the way to extract it is to remember it. That's how it is, Rachel. Because
but when we say
on
remember yum yum, what does that even mean?
That's a great question. Remember yum yum, a fallen comrade. It sounds like. In a way, it is, because we here on Yum Yum Podcast, we like to review episodes of science fiction television, and we were inspired by an episode of science fiction television. Star Trek Discovery's second season finale had a line. It had not just a line, it had the line. It had yum yum, in which a character was asked, do you want to hurt the main antagonist of the season? That's actually how it was written. That's how tight the script was. They said it like that. And this character, who was a guest character for that season, not a particularly strong one and not one that stood out greatly, but they were there.
They counted.
They I don't know. Yeah, they counted. I don't know if their character can count. I don't know if they have those mental capacities, but they did lick their lips, throw their hair back, and say yum yum. That made you and I want to talk about episodes of Sci-Fi TV. Yeah, both of us put our hand up in the air and said, we'll take on that mantle. Not enough people podcast.
That's not quite the truth, Ryan.
It's the full truth. It's the yum yum truth. And we are talking about Killjoys.
Yeah, which is a show that you have seen once before, almost a decade ago, and I have not seen at all.
But what episode of Killjoys are we discussing today?
Shaft.
Shaft?
Shaft.
The film? According to the IMDb trivia...
You just asked me what episode we're watching. I say the episode title, and you go, oh, we're watching the film.
Maybe that's what this episode was. Maybe they recreated the film.
No, because you read the trivia last episode that said no.
No, the trivia said that the title was inspired by the film, but a minus amount of people found that helpful.
It's in a fucking mine shaft.
Oh. Is the film Shaft in a mine shaft? I've never watched it. It could be. I've never seen it. Is it in there? Did it have mossy centipedes? Mossapedes?
This week on Killjoys.
Ooh.
Team Awesome Force gets their first unsanctioned warrant. A rescue mission that takes them to the heart of the Badlands. Meanwhile, Porter is being an ethical doctor who has a strong family connection.
Oh, very cheeky of you. And that matches.
Me?
Yeah, you.
What? What was cheeky about that?
Oh, just you said things that weren't really what the episode had going on, but I'll allow it because this show is cheeky.
What is incorrect about that first sentence?
Oh, I see how you're directing this. Ah, very good. Thank you very much. Now, you're being cheeky, and the show loves to be cheeky. And the Yum Yum moment from Star Trek Discovery was a very funny thing that happened. Made you laugh, made me laugh, made us all laugh. I can't even get a word out right now because the Yumlings, which is the listener, they're laughing over what I'm saying right now. I have to wait just a second. So we're talking about what made us laugh in this episode of Killjoys. Rachel, you were looking over things. You were going over your notes. You were looking at stuff just before we started the record to remind yourself because of what reason? Was there just too many?
There were plenty of kind of laugh moments, but none that I was like, oh, that. Like, Pre's not in this episode.
No, Pre's not in this episode, tragically.
It is. It's a loss. It's a loss. So it was like, oh, it's been a little while since we've watched it. What comes to mind? And I'm like, oh wait, all I'm thinking about is the bullshit, not any of like the fun stuff from this episode. And I'm like, there was fun stuff. And then I was just kept on getting pulled into the negative. And I'm like, no. Pre might not have been here, but Johnny still was.
Boy, was he.
Boy, was he. So I was like, okay, what Johnny lines did I write down? And then the one that stood out the most was, I've got to go kick a mine's ass.
I also had a Johnny line, and I'm shocked that you didn't pick it because it made our jaws hit the floor.
Sometimes it's nice to have different ones.
Yes.
Like when there's one that's just like, oh, we paused the episode to react to that.
Oh yeah, those are powerful.
I'm pretty sure I know what one you were gonna say, and I didn't pick it because you paused it to make sure that I got a proper reaction to it.
You had to absorb it into your skin.
Yeah, so I felt like it was a you pick.
So there's a lot of Johnny lines to go through. And there's a lot of scenarios as well in this episode that are humorous. Maybe not the lines themselves, but a lot of just sequences of events. But Dutch is in peril, and Johnny must come to her aid, and he utters the phrase, gangbang her? He's worried that these centipede mossapedes are going to gangbang her, and that's just so
that's not quite it.
Out of pocket insane of a statement that is said by Aaron Ashmore as if it's no business, which is the correct way to do it and made it even funnier.
I believe it was more to the effect of gonna gangbang her into a trap.
Yes, but still the effect is there nonetheless.
But it makes even less sense.
Oh, Rachel, you're beyond me. I'm still the deer in the headlights at the gangbang being dropped. And you're going further than that, and that's very good for you. But I'm just saying, it made me laugh. I'm almost paralyzed by it. And what's stunning?
Oh, maybe you got a touch or a bite from the psychotropic mossapedes.
Yeah, that's what's stunning me right now is the psychedelic effects from that. And I have some heartbreak for you. I do.
What?
I noticed a lack of something that's very important. I think you know as well because it's a part of our discussion here. I didn't hear a certain word be uttered.
No bitches.
Not a single
No bitches. What you fucking doing?
Is this the first episode without the word bitch? I think it is. I think it is. I would have to double check, but the research...
Automatic worst episode of the show, right?
Or bravest. But they also lacked someone getting kicked in the genitals.
Yep. So we're now one episode since a nut shot.
We might have a little problem here.
No shit.
Who are the people behind the scenes that gave us Shaft and withheld from the gratuitous nature of a bitch and someone getting kicked in the balls?
That would be Martin Wood is back in the director's seat and doing a competent job.
I think it was much better than the last episode. In terms of direction, I wasn't confused by the direction, and I thought the use of locations was done very well. And although it was a minor moment, I actually really liked the whole abandoned spaceship on the surface covered in the moss and like how that was
that was nice
staged and the overall cinematography. I wish we got to
see more of that.
Yeah.
But it makes sense that
less is more.
We only see what we need to see. We have a fresh face for the writer, though. We have John Cooksey doing his first episode, and for some reason not his last. He does another episode later this season.
Ooh, Rachel's giving a hint of an
done
opinion.
21 writing credits. 21 writing credits on IMDb. The last two being Supernatural Academy, a show that I've never heard of and looks super cheap, and Narco Leap.
Is it about like narcotics or narcolepsy?
I don't know. I didn't want to ruin that Schrodinger's cat for me.
Wow. Okay, now I found this writer very fascinating to look at their catalogue because a majority of their work is children's entertainment. Stuff that you are a fan of, actually. He penned the first two Halloween Towns. Yeah. He also worked on Rugrats. He worked on a lot of Rugrats. And I just think it's interesting, too, because we've had other writers that have done children's stuff, but he's the only one, I think, that's done mainly, like, animation background, but also, like, Disney-level children's entertainment. Because Halloween Town's a Disney thing, right? It's, like, a straight-to-TV Disney.
It's a Disney original.
But he also was a creator of a show called The Collector. I've never heard of this show, but the premise is basically the TV show Reaper, but this went longer and slightly different, but it's about a person employed by the devil to bring in souls, and they want to save the souls rather than hand them over, which is kind of like Reaper, but actually takes the step further than what the show Reaper did, which I like that show, but I've never heard of The Collector. He worked on that Primeval New Worlds and that Supernatural Academy. But I think what's really cool about this writer is, although he's done those children's things mainly, he steps up to the plate in this episode to bring us the more adult, mature, yet immature sensibilities of Killjoys. Now,
it makes sense as to why he landed this job.
Yeah.
But this episode doesn't work very well for me. We'll get more into it, but the fact that it chooses to take a in media res approach immediately off-putting.
It doesn't. It rarely works. It rarely works, especially when the episode itself isn't a mystery. That's when you really suffer with in media res.
Yeah,
beginning.
it doesn't.
Here's a out of context thing. Now let's go back.
The tone of the episode, it didn't fully gel for me because it wants you to be afraid for our characters, and I never felt that peril in the way that I feel like the show thought that it was doing. I never got on its level. I was always at a distance, seeing what it was doing and feeling the way that it was trying to make me feel, because it was doing the thing. And it was doing it in a very solid way for the most part. But it just kept on doing things that took me out of it or made me feel disgusted or annoyed.
Interesting.
And it was the way that it was doing things for the most part. Like,
in
the
terms of
ideas of things weren't as problematic as the way that it was doing in the frequency, right? Davin being jealous on its own, not a bad idea. Makes sense. The way that Davin is jealous and the lines that he has, that gets icky and annoying really fast.
Tiresome too.
Mm-hmm.
Because you've seen this before, you know this type of thing. Would you say that this is a problem of the writing or the direction or both?
I think it's more a problem of the writing, because I think the director does a good job at making it feel dynamic, getting decent performances out of particularly our main cast.
The actor who plays Alvis really gets to shine in this episode. He gets to step up.
Like, it's just like, oh, this isn't your fault. This isn't your fault. And it's not one where it feels like the script was bad and then it was lost in translation with the director. It feels like the director is trying to pull together and highlight these certain things that you expect from Killjoys and that you want from Killjoys. But it feels more like you can't polish a turd.
Wow. So I would highly recommend people check out our reaction to this episode as well, because we did have quite the roller coaster ride. You were very viscerally against it from the beginning, but you were won over during the course of time.
Yeah.
And I kept getting pulled back and forth. And what I'm going to say here is we waited a day between the watching and now recording. I've been chewing on this episode. I've been mulling this over. And I think I land on finding this to be one of those Shaggy Dog episodes in which I recognize the flaws. I see the problems. They are clearly another draft would help this.
Yes.
Another draft would help this.
I get why all of the bits are here why they are doing it in the way that they're doing it, but it just doesn't pull itself together enough.
But I enjoyed it, and I actually quite admire the ambition here. I think that it presents a premise that could be rather lackluster. And in your case, it didn't come together. But in my case, I found it to come together over the due course of time. And reflecting back on it, what I really like about the episode too is it has a slightly different character to it than the other episodes of Killjoys. It's actually made me think of A Glitch in the System in that way of, although this isn't an overt horror episode like that one was, it is going for a claustrophobic, character-driven thing.
We're just like him. We're gonna hurt everyone that we love.
Nana, there's nobody here. You've been talking to yourself.
No, he'll make me kill you!
This episode doesn't win you over at the start because it does open up with in media res. We have a scene in which Dutch is somewhere. Where could she be? And now Klein is here. Now it's revealed she's a level 6. And then cut to several hours earlier.
12 hours earlier, and we're back right where we left them at the end of last episode, with Turin in the wilderness.
Why does this not work? Or I should ask more so, why does presenting this immediately put a bitter taste in the mouth?
Because it's really hard to make in media res work for me. Like, it jumps back and it's like, oh no. And the opener itself doesn't sell me on what it is. Like, I don't buy what it's selling me, right? Because it's like, oh, look at this. Dutch has done that. Klein's here. You're not going to believe this. And it's just like, well, no. Like, that's going to be a dream of some sort. Like, I immediately was like, no.
Why?
No, and I was going to be really fucking pissed if it was real.
Why? Like, you say, like, it just doesn't work for you, but, like, why is this a thing that even with great pieces of media, even with, like, stellar TV, it can be a thing that makes one's teeth clench? And I think it's just because we've seen it be done so badly, so often. We've seen it be used as a clear padding of time. How do we make the beginning exciting? We show them a crazy thing that happens later, and then we rewind
in the middle, and then you'll eventually get there. And it
can work. Like, in media res can work, and non-linear storytelling can definitely work. What this episode does not have, and it's immediately apparent, is mystery. There's no sense of intrigue or mystique, and it's not needing it. But because you have this opener, it's in your mind. It's in your mind of, how are we going to get to that?
Like, how
what does
long
that
until?
mean? How long till? But it's so ineffectual because after a couple of minutes, you know that the episode isn't trying to pull on those threads, on those writing mechanics. So you don't care about it? When it happened again, I was like, oh, right, yeah, now we're looping back around, rather than, oh, right, yeah, we're looping back around. No, because that can be truly satisfying.
As soon as Dutch lost those glasses, I was like, oh, we're getting close.
Because TV shows that we love, like Better Call Saul, for instance, does this trick so often, but that show is about a character who has schemes, who has plots, who has scams, and you
it's also
want to know how he gets to
looking back
those.
And looking forward.
Mm-hmm.
So structuring episodes around that and recontextualizing a moment makes sense in terms of developing the characters and developing the plot and developing the themes. This is just here for a flashbang.
And we can even directly contrast this and compare this to the premiere of this season, in which they gave us a fake-out opening of Davin's imagined version of having escaped Red 17, only to reveal that he hadn't. That one works. Why? Why does that one work and this one doesn't? Even though eventually we reveal the thing. And I think it's because it tells us about the character. But also that one flexed style that we hadn't seen in the show before. We hadn't seen them get surreal and dreamy. This, since the episode around this moment never helps to give this groundwork, it just comes across as a cheap trick. And this could be something that they did in the editing. They're in the editing room and they're like, we're short on time, or how do we make this more? This.
No,
because the moment itself, when it plays out, it just plays out as a normal scene.
You know, it digs itself a hole and it's hard to get out of.
Just like the plot of this episode is about them going
to
a hole.
Into the caves. It's a fucking cave set episode, Ryan.
It is. And you know what's stunning? I did not get angry about it being a cave episode. I hate when they go to a quarry, and I hate when they do cave episodes in science fiction. Those two things, they're just, like within media res, they've been done to death, and they've often been done poorly or been implemented or used poorly. the warrant, the unsanctioned warrant this time, is they must go and find some people who have gone off to the Badlands, some fellow Killjoys, and the mission that they were on was scrubbed by Klein, and we need to know why. Why are they here? Why did they go there? Dutch and the gang go off to there, find one survivor claiming that the others are down in these mines, and that there are things there that will unlock the key to the overarching stuff. They need to find a monk, which is helpful because Alvis is here and he can give us some insight onto that. There's some further leads on the green goo. Is Klein physically here, or is this a base of operations for Red 17?
It felt like a direct route to us finding out about the bugs and a little bit more lore exploration, and for it not to just be they're delivered this information, but they're finding out something organically because of the world and because they're working with Turin now.
An element from last week that we weren't a fan of does get addressed, which is Alvis and his willingness to commit mass murder and his giving in to hatred. The conversations between him and Dutch were some of the best in the episode. Those two actors do have great chemistry with one another, and I like that their conversations, although provoke one another, they aren't antagonistic and they aren't heated and they aren't highly emotional. They are civil and they are thoughtful.
But they almost kiss.
Yeah, then there's underlying tensions, both in a sexual way and also in their ideologies. I thought there was a lot of rich material here, but Alvis is a character that's still a bit of an enigma for me. I want to enjoy this character. I want to like this character. And I do hand it to this writer, coming in and giving him some of the most in-depth and insightful and overall just engaging material the character has had.
A large part of his journey in this episode is admitting to his crisis of faith and talking with Dutch about that and having some really, really good moments with her. But it's hard to feel like there's something to say about that within this episode for me.
Why? I thought the conversations were pretty illuminating on the things.
They were very clear, but it feels very much like the beginning of something that I don't have a right to fully comment on because I don't know where it's going to go.
Do you believe...
I'm interested to see where it goes, and I do believe that he's having a crisis of faith.
I was going to ask that, yeah.
And that is an organic progression for Alvis to have. It's not, we've got this religious character, what's their problem going to be? Oh, a crisis of faith. It makes sense that in this world it would create somebody who is a part of this kind of religion and has come to it in this sort of way, and because of the events of the world is unsure of themselves and their religion.
I actually don't fully buy that it is a crisis of faith. Because I think it is a scapegoat. I think his crisis of faith aspect is him trying to reconcile the fact that he has it within himself to commit such an atrocity.
It's more of a crisis of faith in himself.
Yes, but he does try to mask it with, I can't be a Scarback monk anymore. I don't have the faith. And he tries to pin it on the faith. It's the faith's fault that I did that. No, it was hate that made you do that. Don't confuse the two. even in amongst all of this, he's still playing the game. Because he does not, at many moments, give over the information that they need to know. And we see that he's hiding it, or we see that he's not telling. And then at the end, he does tell Dutch the thing, but he goes off on his own. At the height of all of the danger, he goes off on his own to fulfill the mission of the Scarbacks, of himself.
Yeah, he goes to find the monk, which was the original warrant in the Badlands.
I think it's time I stopped running away from what I really am.
Which is?
A weapon. It's what he made me. I might as well use it.
Your sins can be forgiven.
Thanks. But you're just not dressed for absolution anymore.
There was a solid, let's say, conservatively 15 minutes of this episode where I fucking hated every single word that came out of Davin's mouth.
And then it stopped.
Then it stopped. He was still jealous because, the problem was that he was speaking out of jealousy and being fucking dumb jerk dickwad of a character. And I don't want that. I don't want that. And it was really cheaply done, that as well. It wasn't smart. It wasn't quippy. It was just dull and stupid.
And the most dire thing about it is it did not inform us on anything.
No, it was you got it from the first thing that he said.
You could have just relied on the actor's look rather than this banging you in the face every scene dialogue of Davin doesn't like that Dutch is interested in Alvis. It's not, and he also is an atheist prick.
Dutch isn't interested in him at the moment, and that's hurting his ego.
I think it's because we were rewarded in season 1 because the situation of this crew could have been this for the whole season. It could have been jealousy. It could have been a love triangle. But we were given something else. We were given a different type of dysfunctional crew. We were given different troubles. And so that was all refreshing. But now we've pivoted to very well-trodden ground. We've pivoted to stuff that has been done time and time and time again. And Davin is just an asshole in this episode. He's just being an asshole. There's no positive traits to him.
He's just being a prick.
He's not funny. He's not, got a point, or maybe you feel for him. You don't. You just don't like him.
He just feels like an entitled dick, and I will continue to call him names. I don't care.
And it stands out because then it stops. Once the shit hits the fan, all of that dialogue, all of those insults, all of those jabs, all of those one-sided aggressions go away.
Done.
And then the episode comes back around with him and Alvis having a bit of a talk about, hey, thanks for killing me last episode. No problem. You deserved it. That's not a good conclusion to the Davin stuff. There's no progression here. It's like you had the first bit of it, and then you stopped and then just said, we'll have a line at the end between the two characters.
That's enough.
But here's the thing.
We'll wave it away.
But here's the thing that I will ask you. Do Alvis and Davin have a different relationship from the beginning of the episode to the end of the episode?
No. I don't know how to explain it anymore because it's just not there.
So what's the point? What's the point of doing this? Because that's usually what you do. is Davin has to, at the end of this episode, have a different point of view or a different outlook or a different dynamic, relationship, whatever, with either Dutch or Alvis, and he doesn't. He just stops being this way for the rest of the episode because there's more important things to do.
And I'm thankful that he doesn't continue to be such a prick while they're dealing with the bullshit. Like, he puts that to the side and just deals with it. Deals with the problem that they're actually facing.
This is
not his jealousy, because he doesn't actually deal with that at all.
This is a sudden thing to throw here, but I know that you read and watch a lot more stuff that involves this, but I also see a lot of this. Is there a love triangle? Like one that involves aggression, not just like awkwardness, but aggression that you like? Because I think that I tolerate them if I don't hate them. I don't think there's a single one where it plays out where someone's a real asshole in the group and blah, 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 and they come to blows that I genuinely go, oh, I love that.
Like, the ones that do it are not the ones that just go, oh, like, you should want, it's usually two guys and a girl.
Of course.
Like,
that's usually it.
Yeah. And it's usually, oh, you should think that they should be with this one or this one.
Team Edward, Team Jacob.
Yeah. But then, like, the ones that come to mind that are, like, I enjoy more, that, like, we've watched recently or somewhat recently, are Challenges.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, it's a love triangle movie.
That is a good example, actually. I like that. That's the whole story.
It's about the love triangle, and it's not a romance movie. And the same with Past Lives.
Yeah, Past Lives is an interesting one, isn't it? I mean, both those films are written by a married couple, so that's interesting. Like, both writers are married to each other. But
even like
Challenges...
Bridget Jones's Diary, where it's like you're clearly more in favor of one than the other, but you get why there's like will she, won't she, who will she end up with, what's the truth behind things.
See, I tolerate it more when it's a comedy. When it's supposed to be like a comedy of manners and errors and faux pas, rather than straight up. Challenges works because they are all dysfunctional people, and the dysfunctionality is not only because of the love triangle, but the love triangle amplifies all of these weird traits that are already there. Past Lives, on the other hand, that is an interesting one. I think that one's just got so much more going on. I think like the cultural aspect, I think but that's the thing. I wanted to bring this up because you and I both reflexively are like, they just are so poorly done most of the time. And yet we've seen it done over and over and over again. And why is that? Because it's usually done for easy drama. It's just easy drama. Do they have anything to say about this love triangle? Other than Davin mad, Alvis isn't. And Dutch is indifferent as well. It's actually weird. Two people are indifferent and the other... It's like Davin's the only one with a problem.
Yeah. It's like everybody else is being an adult and he's still being a baby.
I will say we're being hard on Davin, but Luke McFarlane does such a great job in this episode once he doesn't have to be jealous Davin, because when they start getting attacked in these mines by the woman who's gone crazy, the debris, the heat, like the mines are hot, and these moss-covered centipedes, his performance is genuinely gripping. He gets in the zone of like he's terrified, but he's also like, I'm taking command, and he gets some good moments of humor. Luke McFarlane and Aaron Ashmore do not look like brothers at all. They do not resemble brothers at all. They're vastly different people, but the writing and these little performance moments make you believe they're brothers. Because Davin sees these centipedes, and then he's like, there's moss-covered centipedes. Mossipedes? And he says it in such an airheaded, I've got one brain cell way
You
that
were
Johnny
obsessed with that delivery.
that Johnny does so often. That Aaron Ashmore does so often with Johnny to be funny, but like the difference is Johnny does that to be humorous, and I think Davin is genuinely a dumbass. Like, he's intelligent, but he's also I think genuinely he's the dummy of the group. He's the meathead.
And they've been up front with that the whole time.
To start with, it looks like an angry vagina. And these things aren't moss, they're centipedes.
Moss-covered centipedes? Mossipedes?
They theorize that this creature and these mines are where they milk the green goo from.
Yeah, the harvest. Which is a weird thing to think about. Especially because we don't see any pools of goo.
And you would think that it would be a valued commodity enough to guard, if that's the case. Even they don't sound like they buy into that being the full theory, and or there's just so many loose ends here that they themselves can't justify or give the full rubber stamp to this hypothesis, but it's the only thing that they have at the moment.
I am intrigued. Alvis was so adamant that, like, I don't know anything about scarbacks on Arkin, but he does know shit. And it's hard for me to say, like, is he being dumb and not realizing that, you know, this foundational scripture that he has engraved on his back might have something to do with that?
I think he's thinking...
Or is he protecting sacred religious secrets?
I took it more that he didn't think about this being a present event, because they are telling him this was a thing we saw. This is a thing that must be relevant and nearby, while this is like from hundreds of years ago.
Yeah. I guess I wasn't being as perceptive and generous in that way that I was thinking about it.
But what do you feel about the Scarback's mythos? We haven't heard too much about it, but we're getting more.
I want more. I'm wondering if it's going to be a sort of splinter plot, and Alvis is going to go off to that place and we're going to check in on him later. But the idea of, you know, the 12 and one coming back, who's that one? Is that going to be connected to the 9?
Well, he theorized that the monk that they found in the tunnels was
the
that
one that
because
survived.
it had the scarring on this flesh is what is basically their scripture on his back was the
he
gist.
Tore off a part of his skin.
But he's still got to research this. Yeah, 12 went off to fight the devil. Where? He doesn't actually say Ark.
No,
he doesn't say where.
But we're led to believe.
It's the only place we know that it could most likely be. And what is the devil in their faith? Like, what is that? Who is that? What's the feeling there? All spooky stuff. But is it good enough, or does it just feel like jingling the keys and going, we'll deal with this later?
It feels like they're laying the path. And it's very obvious that that's what they're doing. And that, you know, all roads are going to converge eventually. But it's not pretending like it's not. So it's doing it in a serviceable way.
It skates on by because of all the stuff we mentioned before about Alvis, what he says and what he doesn't say. But this is also a pretty characterful episode for Dutch. We opened up on her seeing Klein, and obviously it's a hallucination, but a hallucination that has lots of meaning, and then that hallucination turns into herself. And there's a lot of loaded statements made between all three of these figures.
I forgot to say at the top of this, like, speaking of Dutch, a part of why the in media res thing doesn't work is because we had that sort of fake out, almost hallucination weird thing with her in the mirror last episode that doesn't really get addressed at all.
It never got addressed.
In that moment. So them doing that again this episode made it feel weird as well. I just wanted to throw that in there. But Dutch is really complex in a good way, where it doesn't feel contrived. And her getting to the point where she's like, fuck it, I'm taking charge, feels genuine, and it feels like a good move and a mistake at the same time.
Yes. I thought that the way that they delineated the self-loathing of Dutch with Klein and the version of herself was quite interesting as well, because Klein is using his usual methods of deflection. I'm doing this for your benefit. I'm doing this for the right reasons. You're the one that's the troublemaker here. You're the one that's making excuses. Do what I say or else. And he threatens her, and he just tells her, like, you don't remember things. That's your problem. Like, he gaslights her. He puts it all on her. And then the version of herself that talks to her, although still does all of those things, there's more of a conversational nature between the two of them than there is between her and Klein. Like, between her and Klein, he makes it very firm. Even this imagined version, he makes it very firm of, like, you do what I say. But the version of herself, much more intimate, much more personal, much more venomous.
But it's still scathing.
I liked that the accent was a little different. Like, it was a little bit more posh.
Just a little shift to help accentuate those differences.
And I thought it was actually, looking back on this episode and talking about it, it kind of helped that at the end of the episode, Dutch finally takes that loot off of the wall and she starts playing it.
She chooses to engage with herself and with her past in a way that she denied needing or wanting to do last season.
And even though this internal version of herself is saying, like, this is all on you, there is still this dialogue of, we are just puppets on a string.
Yeah, and then it makes that interesting that that's paired and contrasted with Porter trying to face up against her enemy in Spring Hill, and the way that she refuses to be puppeted by Jelko.
Yeah, Jelko and her family.
I was just like, I had Jelko in my head and I was thinking of TNG at the same time.
That's I'll say this. This is a big problem. You can't just introduce a hard-ass military type and call them Jelko and not expect us to accidentally call him Jellico.
Yes.
But you are hitting the nail on the head, because she's not wanting to be puppeted by him, but also she wants to get her family's influence, and they're like, we're not going to bother with you. You're your own free agent. Fuck off.
Like,
we can't do anything.
And we can't do everything for you. So bye. But she's wanting, like, Porter and Dutch both are wanting to have more control over their situation and their lives than they reasonably can. Because they're both like, we're boss ass bitches. We got this. And then they do amazing things. But they don't magically have everything work out for them. Porter is there. She manages to succeed at calling her dad, getting access to the security footage. Things in other shows that would have been the whole episode for her to get to that point. She just does because she can manage that.
This is a case of just because the character did this off screen doesn't make it come across as lazy, because we know her well enough to say that she wouldn't wait between episodes to get the shit done. She's saving herself.
Do it.
She's saving herself.
Do it.
Actually, I think this is the end.
Well, you're not gonna kill yourself.
Oh, no, that's not me. That's you. I used your DNA to unlock the bracelet and reinstalled it around your heart. I don't want to kill you, Jelko. You're just the symptom. And I have to treat the disease.
I really enjoyed her plot in this episode.
Yeah,
because
I'm glad to hear that, because you were pretty dismissive of it when we were watching.
But it came together really nicely, and I was apprehensive in the first couple of scenes because it's just like the first two just do the thing that you're expecting it to do, really. But then the turn of Jelko being like, you're gonna help me with my heart problem. That's what you're gonna do. Every day I need to do this thing because I'm so inbred. That's a side problem. We're not talking about that. You are going to help me.
I put my heart in your hands.
Yes, I am willing to be vulnerable for you because I think that I have enough power and control over you, but you also have the skill that I require.
He even says while she's operating on him, while he's getting drugged up, his whole spiel is about how he loves what he does because he finds people's weaknesses and uses it against them and torments them and is their master.
He likes her because he can't read her. He can't predict her.
But he also thinks he has it under control. I have the little blinky bracelet on your ankle and it will go boom boom when you get too far out. And
Yes. One small detail that I didn't like is that she does walk out of Spring Hill.
Yeah.
And I think it's stupid that she throws the glove on the floor.
Which glove?
The glove with his blood on it.
Oh, I didn't mind that because she's so cocky and self-assured that she's done all this. Something that was really interesting too, just talking about all of this, is the fact that we look at this character in isolation. She's in her own story now. And yet she's still
the B-plot.
She is the B-plot. But because of thematic and character stuff, it still feels relevant. Not just because Johnny phones her up, not just because there's little hints of potential love and overlap, but because her and Dutch have a lot in common. Both of them are from like royal rich backgrounds, but are disgraced or exiled or run away. They have their father figures that let them down and make them feel worse about themselves, but they're going to pick themselves up and win and save themselves and do the thing that they need to do. But they do them in their very, very specific character ways. Like Dutch has a team of people. She has friends. She has a family. Potter doesn't. She's on her own. And Potter does what she always does. She grins. She plays nice, and then she drugs people and uses her medical expertise to save herself, to get what she wants, to get what she needs, and do the job.
I fucking loved the touch of, oh yeah, I put that bracelet on your heart.
I have that skill, so don't fuck with me. And because I'm the only person that could probably get it off right now or in the quick period of time, I'm out of here. Bye-bye. They had a moment that I didn't care for, which was she's scanning through stuff and she finds like plans for more walls.
All of the cities on Westerly are gonna have a wall too.
To me, that was the one, here's an obvious thing that gets found so that we can have this later. With everything that she was doing, it just was one of the, I don't know why I didn't buy it, but it was just a thing that just came across as false to me.
It felt too convenient.
I just kept saying, like, put out the footage of Hills getting shot in the head. Like, that's what you're supposed to be doing here. But no, she finds this
That's
instead.
what you keep on talking about. But then it's like, oh, I've stumbled across this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I would have maybe felt better about it if he was bragging about how...
Is it even a secret? Like, is this shocking information to you?
No.
It just feels like a logical next step of what Dulcea wanted and what this guy wants.
Yeah, and it's about, he's been upgraded from, subjugating and torturing people to a whole town.
And now a whole planet.
Yes, so that being the next step, an evolution of this, it doesn't feel surprising at all.
I thought that Jelko was made even more of a compelling character in this episode because we get the story about his weak heart, and that obviously...
And him from being one of the lower houses on Leith. So he is close enough to touch those who have power, but not have power himself. And that being a potential underlying motivating factor for why he is the way that he is, but
and why he wants Potter to stay.
It's not presented as a justification or, hey, look, the villain's sad for this reason. Feel sorry for him.
You don't feel sorry for him. He's a nut. I like the underlying
it's just like, oh,
class disparity.
That's why you're a nut.
Yeah, one of the many reasons.
It's one part of the puzzle.
Yeah, exactly. Because it is something that is in the relationship between him and Potter of he wants to be powerful. He wants to be in charge. He is given this authority, but he still feels undermined and threatened because of the class difference between him and Potter. Because she is one of the 9, even though he holds all the cards and he's showboating in this episode. He is showboating about like how much he's got everything under control, but it only shows off how little he has in control with her.
And how insecure he is.
I just love that Potter saved herself and that she did it the way that she does and she didn't wait for Johnny.
But then the world fucks her. Because she gets captured by somebody in a robe cape situation?
Knocks her over the head. Who could it be? Someone we've seen before? Someone new? Could it be her family? Could it be Klein? Could it be the Scarback monks? Could it be Pre?
It could be so many different people. And I feel like we won't get an answer directly. But like
we will.
I feel like we'll
But will Jelko go after her?
Yeah,
or will Dutch and the gang go after her first? Who's going to go after her first? Because both of them are going to her.
Or are they both going to go after her?
I have a third option. I have another option. She just comes back next week and it's fine. Because that happened last time this season.
She just escapes.
Where last season we thought, when the characters need her the most, she was apprehended by the authorities, and then she just turned up the next episode and it was fine. Maybe Potter turns up and she has like a comedically large bandage on her head.
Maybe.
Or it was Garrett getting revenge from last week where he was like, you hurt me, Doc, and now I'm getting you. He actually learned to drop the knife and just go with a club. And as we wrap out here, the Team Awesome Force, They have a new member of the crew. They have a mossipede. They have a pet one in a jar. Davin's using his powers.
Yeah, playing with his repulsion ability.
Not killing it.
No.
Not making it explode or recoil or in pain. He's just kind of pushing and pulling.
Seeing how it works. He's testing it out.
They got a
testing the
pet.
boundaries. But they got a pet and it's not a gloose.
It's not the gloose.
Wait. Where's the... What did he call it, the gloose? It's gone.
It's a pity. Roasted gloose is delicious.
I would give this on a rating system of yum being bad and yum yum being good. A yum yum.
Yum yum.
It has problems, but it's one in which I enjoy thinking about it. I enjoy talking about it, and I think a lot more of it tracks than it doesn't. And as a continuation of things that we've been going along with, this keeps the ball rolling. It doesn't drop it, and it doesn't commit like such a huge cardinal sin on the overarching end. What about you, Rachel?
It doesn't do enough good for me. Like, the Porter stuff is really good, really solid. There's a lot of stuff that moves things forward in an interesting way. It hasn't made me not want to watch the show like Sugar Point Run did. But it is one that I feel like I'm going to remember the good parts more than the bad parts. But at the moment, it's not enough for me to give it a yum yum. It comes close, but not in that way where it's like, oh, it's so close, I don't quite know. It's like, no, I didn't like the majority of this episode.
And so?
So it's a yum.
Yum.
The next episode of Killjoys we shall be watching and then discussing is Season 2, Episode 4, Schooled. Schooled.
Like a school of fish?
Schooled as in a school that you teach at, and then ED.
Like you've been schooled.
Yeah, you've been schooled. And then I do the hand gesture like, yeah, boy. Any thoughts? Dutch at the end of this episode says, I'm the boss now.
Yeah.
I wear the pants. Torin, I have the long hair.
I think we're going to get some flashbacks or further information about where Dutch was trained.
Do you think we'll get any...
That's my guess.
Any Klein? We haven't seen Klein since the premiere.
No.
No?
No.
Gonna hold back on
That's my
on
gut
him?
feeling.
Okay.
He's still a Kleinsicle.
He's still... What about Fancy?
Yep, I think it's going to be another episode or two before we get any more Klein or Fancy.
Alrighty. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening. You can find us on all of those social medias under
yumyumpod or yumyumpodcast. If you want to email us, send that to yumyumpod@gmail.com. But our favorite way for you guys to communicate is definitely the Discord server on Patreon, because we get paid for that, which is nice.
Oh, Rachel, that's not the only reason. Please have some humility as we grovel and beg. No, we do have a Patreon in which we release these episodes early, as well as full unedited reactions to the episodes of Killjoys we watch, as well as a whole back catalogue of goodies that don't make it to the main feed. If you have the means to support the podcast, it would be greatly appreciated. If not, at least share us around, rate and review the show. But until next time, everyone, remember this, okay? Rachel, you thinking about this? If Lucy asks you if you want to hear about some topographical information, you would say yes, right?
Yeah.